Elly here from Thankful Flow Yoga. Thank you so much for joining me for this stretchy splits practice. Now, whether you are someone who already has splits in their practice, or if it's something you're working towards, or maybe you just want a really juicy, nice leg stretch, then there's going to be options in this practice for you. I would suggest that this practice is more suited to someone who already has some kind of existing yoga practice, and always just listening to your body throughout. Yoga is, as we know, this 8-limb structure. So asana being one part of that structure. So always just coming back to that whenever you're coming up against challenges physically, mentally throughout your practice, just reminding yourself of why you're here, to be in this present moment, to listen to and honour your body, and find that kind of connection. So we're going to come and start the class today in a wide leg child's pose, and I definitely recommend some blocks for this practice. So bringing the knees a little bit wider apart, sink the hips down, walk your hands out in front, and just melt the heart and the forehead down towards the mat. As you inhale through the nose, just imagine drawing energy up from the ground into your hands, your arms, maybe all the way into the back of the body, the sides. And on your exhale, start to release anything that's no longer needed. Start to let go of anything that came before this practice. Just grounding into this present moment. Imagine on each inhale that you root further and further into a sense of grounding. On your next inhale, we'll open the eyes, walk the hands in, lift the hips, come into tabletop position. Inhale, shine the heart forwards, lift the tailbone. Exhale, draw the belly button in towards the spine, drop the head, tuck the tailbone in. Inhale, lift the tailbone, make space across the chest. Exhale, draw up the head around the spine, and start to take it into maybe some circular cat and cow movements now. So rounding and then dropping the belly down, moving into the hips as well. It doesn't matter how these look, you can add in a little bend of the arms as well. Just moving into the spine, the side of the body, waking everything up. Nice. So we're going to step the right foot through between the hands, find a low lunge. Keep your hands on the mat, or you can place your hands on blocks. Knee stacked above the ankle, let the left hip drop down. Then we're going to exhale, shift the hips back, lengthen through that front leg, coming into your half split position. So we're going to move kind of fluidly with the breath between these two. So inhale, come forwards, drop that left hip down. Then exhale, draw the hips back, stretch into the back of that right leg. So inhale, shifting forwards, saying hello to the hips, the legs. Exhale, shifting back. Last one, inhale, shifting forwards. Exhale, shifting back. And this time, inhale, we shift forwards, walk your right foot out, bring your hands to the inside of the right foot in our lizard position. Maybe taking a little bit of gentle movement here. So back knees still drop down, just feeling into the hip area. Maybe noticing what your body wants you to know today, what your hips want you to know. And an option, if it's in your practice, to come down onto the forearms here. So coming lower in your lizard, getting a little bit deeper into that stretch. Only if that feels good too. You can maybe place this right hand on the right thigh, look up to the ceiling. And again, if it feels good to take some gentle movements here, then take those. Grounding through both hands, tuck the left toes under. And we're going to flow up to downward facing dog and see if you can sweep this right leg up, make it into a three-leg dog. Just remembering that we're early on in the practice. So taking it as easy as you need to take it. And then on your next inhale, option to come through your chaturanga, take it into a split leg vinyasa. Into upward facing dog. Exhale back into your downward facing dog. So really moving straight into the hips and the legs today. So just being mindful of how everything feels. Take a pedal out now in your downward facing dog, just bending one leg then the other. Coming back to stillness, inhale, step the left foot through between the hands, drop the knee so that we're in our left side low lunge. Now we'll float from here with the breath. So exhale, shift the hips back, lengthen through the left leg. Doesn't have to be straight, but we're flexing the left foot. On the inhale, shift forwards into your low lunge. Exhale, shift the hips back. Inhale, coming forwards. Remember, you can have the hands on blocks if you need to here. Exhale, shifting back. Inhale, coming forwards. Exhale, shifting back. And inhale, come forwards, walk your foot out. So the hands are on the inside of the left foot, coming into your lizard position. So letting that right hip drop down, so really stretching into this right hip flexor. And we're opening into the left hip space as well. Breathing here, taking any movement that feels good. Maybe it feels good to be in stillness. Options come down onto the forearms, getting a little bit deeper into that stretch. Maybe you can bring this left arm to the left thigh and look up to the ceiling. And planting both hands back down onto the mat, tuck under the back right foot. See if you can sweep that left leg all the way up to find a three-leg dog. On the inhale, take it into your chaturanga, split leg chaturanga if that feels good for you. Exhale, downward facing dog. Breathing here. Lifting the hips away from the ribs, press the mat away with your hands. You can always come back to your child's pose if you need to. Keep listening to your body. Inhale, step the right foot through between the hands, and then we're going to pivot into a right side skandasana. So these right toes are pointing out towards the corner of your mat. And your skandasana can be much higher up if it needs to be. Float over to left side skandasana. Come back to your right side skandasana. And then we're going to pivot and see if you can find your way back to your right side high lunge. No worries if you need to add in a couple of extra steps here. That's okay. Lift up and out from the waist. Then we're going to float the hands down to the mat, lifting the left leg up, coming into a standing split position. Option to wrap your right arm around the right leg, really reaching that left foot up to the ceiling. Breathing here. Inhale here. On the exhale, bending both legs. See if you can hook this left leg behind the right leg as you crouch down. Inhale, reach the left leg back up to standing split. Exhale, crouch down, tuck that left leg underneath. Inhale, back to standing split. Last one. Curling it in. And reaching the left leg back up. Well done. Start to take a big step back. Drop your back knee down. Sweep the fingertips up, finding your right side low lunge. This time hands are lifted. Option to take your Kali Mudra with the fingers. So interlace the fingers, but index fingers staying long and touching. Reaching the fingertips up to the ceiling. Press down through the heel of the right foot. Float your hands down to the mat. Or if you want an extra challenge, you can try and do this without the hands. We're going to shift the weight back. Find our half split position. So keeping that space across the chest, keeping the spine long. Option to take a little fold over that front leg, if that feels good too. Breathing here. Now, option to start to come into your right side split. So this is where you may be working with your blocks. And even if you're not used to working with your blocks with your split, it can be a really nice way to help get your alignment. So we want this left thigh really tucked under. So you could be working with your blocks, something like this. If you're coming down into your full split, then you absolutely can. Just tucking that back thigh under. If you're not in your splits and you don't want to work with the blocks with your split, that feels too much for you, then stay with your working with your low lunge back into your half split. Option to reach the hands up to the ceiling. Maybe take a little twist, so right hand comes to the right shin, the left hand comes to the back thigh, looking out behind you. And we'll start to ease away from the split. So come back to your low lunge position now. Tuck the back toes under and sweep that right leg back so we're in our downward facing dog. Take a moment here to reconnect with your breath. This time we inhale, step the left foot through between the hands, pivot around so we're coming straight into left side skandasana. Take it over to your right side skandasana. Remember to modify or stay up higher here if you need to. Float back to your left side skandasana. Pivot around, find your left side high lunge. Lifting the heart up towards the ceiling. Now bring the weight into the front left leg, hands down to the mat. Lift that back leg, find your standing split. Left arm wraps around the back of the left leg. Breathing into that space. Now bringing both hands down to the mat for this. Inhale, then exhale, bending both legs. We hook the right leg behind the left, so really curling and tucking it in. Inhale, reach the right leg back to the standing split. Exhale, draw the right leg, tucking it in behind the left. Inhale, reach it back up to standing split. The last one, curl that back leg around. Inhale, reach it back up to standing split. Pause here, well done. Take that big step back, drop the back knee down, sweep the fingertips up. Find Kali Mudra, lifting up and out from the waist in your low lunge. Imagine shooting energy through the fingertips up to the ceiling. Breathing here. And when you're in your lunge, if you want to really come a little bit deeper into the stretch, we need to keep our knees stacked above the ankle, but you can always walk your foot out a little bit further and sink down here, but with control. So checking in with your alignment. And then from here, either take the hands down to the mat or blocks to support you, or maybe you can try it without the hands. We shift back to our half split. Keeping that space across the chest. Breathing here, so holding your half split position here. Taking a fold over that front leg if it feels good too. Maybe undulating with the breath. And then either working with your kind of low lunge to half split, or you're going to grab your blocks and work with your full split position now. So using your blocks to support you, having the hands on the blocks at the side, or just coming on down into your split position. Really trying rolling that back thigh under. Option to reach the hands up to the ceiling. Maybe you can take a little Kali Mudra here. Bringing that awareness back to the breath. Not forcing anything. Listening to your body. Option to take your little twist here now. So right hand comes to the right calf or thigh. Left hand maybe comes to the left shin. Well done. And ground the hands into the mat, lift the legs back so that you're in a low lunge. Tuck the back toes under and sweep the leg back so that we're in our downward facing dog. From here, inhale, step the right foot through between the hands. Keep the hands low and sweep them around, coming into your Prasarita Padottanasana position, so we're in the wide leg forward fold. Bring the hands, the peace fingers around the big toes. Inhale, lift the chest. Exhale, bend the arms and fold. Inhale, lift the chest. Exhale, folding. Inhale, lifting. Exhale, folding. Inhale, lifting. Exhale, folding. And then bring your hands to the hips. Inhale, lift the chest. Keep the spine long. Start to come up from the fold. Pivot the feet so the toes are pointing out to the side. Bring your hands to heart center. Inhale. Exhale, sink down to goddess. Sweep the arms up. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, sink down. Sweep the arms up and around. Inhale, lengthen the legs, hands at heart center. Exhale, float the arms up and around. Last one, inhale, hands at heart center. Exhale, float the arms up and around. Pausing here, seeing again if you can take a Kali Mudra, arms are reaching up while you're in the goddess legs. Maybe seeing if you can bring a bit of weight into the outside edges of the feet. Breathing. And release, well done. Float the hands around to frame the front foot, step it back to plank. Flow through a Vinyasa, inhaling, upward facing dog or cobra. And exhaling back to downward facing dog. This time we inhale, step the left foot through between the hands. Keep the hands down on the mat, float them across into your Prasarita Padottanasana. So options here are you're staying in the fold. You can take the hands, the peace fingers, the big toes again here, if that feels good too. Or if it's in your practice, you're going to take your tripod headstand. So hands are coming down to the mat. Lifting the legs. As we are honouring a splits practice today, we're going to keep the legs out in this wide split position in your tripod headstand. That's in your practice. Breathing here. Now from here, we're going to start to lower the feet down to the mat. If you're already in your Prasarita Padottanasana, you're going to come through and we're going to sit the hips down or plonk the hips down, however it works for you, so that we're meeting in this wide leg straddle position, so wide leg split position. So flexing the feet, thighs and the femur bone is rotating so that it is facing the ceiling. So we want our thighs and our femur facing upwards. We want to keep that alignment here. So inhale, lift the chest, lengthen through the spine. And as you exhale, try and keep that space across the chest as you maybe start to walk the hands forwards. So you could be working here, for example, you could be working much higher up. If you need to keep a bit of softness in the legs, you can. Maybe you're coming further down, maybe you're coming all the way down. You'll start to take some breaths here. Just remembering that different times of the day, different times when we're doing our practice, your practice and your body can just feel so different. And that's what we're working with, raising our awareness of, is treating our body as it is right now in this present moment. How are we experiencing our body in this moment? What does it need? What is it telling me? So really, although today, this is a splits practice, and maybe some of you doing this practice are working on your splits, and I know this has been requested by quite a lot of you, but always coming back to that sense of why we're really here on our mat. And we are here, for this practice as a whole, and what that means to us to listen to our body. So whether we're doing the splits or not doing the splits, or it's somewhere gloriously in between, just honouring that, enjoying that for what it is. Inhale, start to walk the hands back in, coming up from the fold. And we'll inhale, sweep the left fingertips up to the ceiling, lift your ribs away from your hips. As you exhale, stretching over to the right. You could either be working here if you're coming deeper. You could bring maybe that left hand comes to the right foot. Just make sure you're shining the heart up towards the ceiling. Stretching into the left side of the body. Inhale, come back up to centre. Sweep the right fingertips up this time and lift up and out from the waist. Exhale, stretching over to the left. And coming back to centre. I'm going to draw these legs in, bend the legs, wrap your arms around the legs, take a big hug, drop your forehead down towards the knees, rounding into the back of the spine. Close the eyes if that feels good too. And just observe any thoughts passing through, anything that's come up throughout this practice, mentally, physically, emotionally, whatever's there. Knowing that this is just a moment in time. Inhale, lift the head, open the eyes back up if you have them closed. And we'll release from the hug and just come back into a comfortable seated position on your mat. Thank you so much for being here and practicing with me. I hope that you enjoyed that flow. Do comment and feedback to me on how you're getting on. And if you have more practices that you'd like to do like this, or if there's any other themed practices that you would like to request, then please do let me know what you want. And link below to other things that I offer. Please do like, share, comment, subscribe to this channel. It really helps me to keep providing these flows. And yeah, I'm so grateful for you being here. Take care, and I look forward to seeing you again very soon. Bye.